For over 30 years, radio and television talk host Larry King has been entertaining his audiences with lively conversations and probing interviews. During his long broadcast career, he has witnessed many changes in the business.
When I started really doing talk, we didn't even call it talk, it was just the Larry King Show in Miami. And I mostly did interviews. The biggest change has been, of course, the use of phones. When I started, for the first 10 years, I did talk, per se. It was just interviews. I did a 3-hour show every night, just interviewed people, never took calls. And I started taking calls in the 70s. I think the main change has been, it's been the savior of AM radio. It's been a ton of advancement on television. Except for what you pay the host and a good producer, it's the cheapest form of broadcasting. I mean, even though you can pay the host a great deal of money, it really amortizes itself out well over the long haul. It has good, loyal sponsorship, steady growing listenership. It's never been a boom listenership or viewership. You don't boom, but you grow. And the viewer and listener tends to be loyal. That's grown a lot, too.
As opposed to the musical formats.
Yeah, the musical format, those change. In other words, if you're a fan, let's say, of talk radio, you like talk radio. If you like all news radio, you'll be more loyal to it than you will, say, to a pop stereo album format that might change tomorrow. They're very fickle. That audience is very fickle. This audience is very loyal, and that's grown.
What originally pulled you into the business?
I have no other wish. I have no other life goal. I never said I wanted to be a cop or a fireman or a lawyer or a doctor or a dentist. I'd lie in my bed. I'd be 5, 6 years old. I'd look it up at the radio. I can still see the radio. It's the Emerson radio, the round radio. In fact, when I was elected to the Emerson Radio Hall of Fame in their first year of voting, they give you one of those little radios, like a mock. It was my radio. Arthur Godfrey was my hero, and Red Barber. That's what I wanted to do.
For King, the ultimate sensation is the energy of a well-paced back-and-forth dialogue.
I like that give and take. I like asking questions. I like getting answers. I like having my curiosity piqued. I like having it responded to, and I like the kind of people you meet when you do a program like this.
What about the phone calls? When that was introduced, were you uncomfortable with it at first, or did you say to yourself, oh, this is great?
I didn't like it, because I thought I was a pretty good interviewer, and I don't need people asking questions. What I got to like was the way we do it, which is we do it without screening the calls.
Despite his long reign as a talk giant, Larry King has not grown blasé and can still get excited when reminiscing about guests from the past.
I was with Sinatra once, and he was thinking about a song. He's 75 years old, and decided that the thing about that lyric, he was wrong all these years. That it was and he sang the song differently. How many people at age 75 would say, I was wrong about that song, and now I'm right?
So he had the ability to self-appraise.
Correct. Self-deprecate as well. Kid yourself. Look at yourself well. Have a little chip on your shoulder. You love guests like that. You like guests with a little bit of edge of anger. Sinatra's a classic guest. But, of course, I was fortunate. I got in it so young, Alan. When I was 24 years old, I interviewed Eleanor Roosevelt. I interviewed Adlai Stevenson, the first person I voted for. I interviewed John Steinbeck, John O'Hara, Erskine Caldwell. I interviewed these people. You know, I was on the air when Castro went into Cuba. I was on the air when we went into space. They interrupted my show for Alan Shepard to go up into space. And then 3 weeks later, I had Alan Shepard on.
One guest with whom King has a lot of fun is conservative columnist William F. Buckley.
The thing with Buckley is to edge him in, stay on top of him, hone with him, and if you don't understand what he says, ask him what it means. That's another thing most interviewers don't do. Buckley will be on, he'll say, well, of course, Larry, we all know that the partial facade of the chromosome was the key. And most interviewers nod. I would not nod. I would say, what does the partial facade of the chromosome mean? But I like him as a friend. I don't agree with him politically. I think he's a terrific guest.
Larry King, czar of the talk show hosts, still holding court over the air. For The Insiders, this is Alan Nathan.